Let's talk Carlos Boozer with the Utah Jazz and an all-rookie NBA team snub for Utah. Does it get any better for the Jazz? Let's talk about it. It's the Hoopsner Show. All right, nerds, I'm sorry I've been gone so long. I'm ready to come back. The goal is to do one of these every day, but I've been just exhausted lately, but I'm feeling a little bit better. I'm ready to go through the entire offseason and then just make this a habit. We've got to do this like every day. It's not that hard, okay? It's not that hard. What am I doing? All right, today let's talk a little bit about some of the Jazz items I missed that I just kind of wanted to touch on. This may not be quite as long as some of them could be, but I wanted to talk a little bit about the Carlos Boozer. He joins the Carlos Boozer news. He joins the Jazz as a scout, which is really fun and honestly has me thinking about this upcoming season. Yes, we're talking about this upcoming season. The rebuild continues. Do we quit? Do we hold back? No! We just keep going. This is what you do. What else do you do? What else can you do but keep going? Follow the plan. Stick with it. And Carlos Boozer is a part of this plan for the Utah Jazz. Carlos Boozer joins the Utah Jazz as a scout. And honestly, this is pretty fun because there are some real cool storylines for next year that might have us just have us be brokenhearted again. But there might be, maybe this wasn't meant to be. Obviously not. Destiny was not in our hands to have Cooper Flagg on the Utah Jazz in a Jazz jersey. But you know what? Maybe this is just a way to get Cam Boozer to Utah. Right? This is a way to build headway, draft Cam Boozer, who could be that superstar for the Utah Jazz. Carlos Boozer, who better to scout his son than Carlos and can let them know everything they need to know. And by the way, and this is something I don't think a lot of people mentioned. Yeah, there's some people that say, oh, this is a great way to scout your son. Well, you know what's interesting is he has been watching Cam Boozer his whole life, obviously. But Carlos Boozer will have insight into all the AAU players that played with Cam Boozer. So he will know AJ DeBonsa. He will know Darren Peterson. All these players know each other from a young age. At a certain point, they're all playing for the UC-17 team. They all know each other. Who knows them better than the guy that's been there watching his son and watches them play all the time? Carlos Boozer. So, yes, he knows his son really well. Yes, he will watch his son. He'll be watching Duke games and all of this. But he knows the other players from the AAU circuit and will have a very nice insight into them. And, there's some stories that I've heard talked about. Bill Simmons, if you're a fan of Bill Simmons, I am. And I really enjoy that story about the new head coach. I forgot his name. He's the former player. But one thing he likes to do is he likes to, with offensive linemen, go run a set with them and just feel how they hit him and how they block and all that stuff. Carlos Boozer knows basketball and knows players who are tough, that he knows how they play, he knows quickness. He'll be able to see that. He may even get on the court and scream, "And one!" So I really like this Carlos Boozer thing. I think it's underrated in what he can bring to the Jazz. All right, the other news I wanted to talk about is Isaiah Collier and Kyle Filipowski were snubbed today. The NBA announced that they announced their first team all-rookie, second team all-rookie. Isaiah Collier, Kyle Filipowski, they do not make it, which is a big bummer because honestly, they deserved it. They were right there. Isaiah Collier misses it by 1 point to make it on the team. So super frustrating, a big bummer. But, part of that is just kind of a consequence of the team still taking time to become what they need to be, which is just fully young, build around the youth. The Jazz continue to not have been able to do that. That, anyone can talk about tanking not working. No, that has not been the failure. The tanking worked. It worked. Anyone who thinks that the tanking has not worked, no, it completely worked. What has not worked is Utah getting rid of their veterans. They have to do it this offseason. They have to go fully young and build around these guys until they get a superstar. The CBA is built to it does not allow super teams anymore. It just does not allow it. We have 4 teams in the final 4 of the playoffs going on right now that are going to be new champions since the 70s, and 3 of them have never won a title. The parity is there. Jazz fans should be excited about what's going on. If you get your superstar and you have if you get your Batman and then you get a Robin to play with him and then you fill the rest of the team with high-level role players, something the Jazz are already starting to fill their team with, then you are in really good shape. And that is the way the NBA is built now. It is successfully creating parity. Utah has that shot. Would it have been nice to win the Cooper Flag sweepstakes? 100%. But Utah is still going to get a good player in this draft. And I'm going to talk about that tomorrow, I think, just the top 5. But this sucks for Isaiah Collier and Kyle Filipowski. They are looking like solid role players for in the future for the Utah Jazz, whether they're on the team filling in the roles the Jazz need when they get their superstar or become trade pieces, whichever. Utah is filling their roster with high-level players. They're doing the right thing. It's young talent. This is a league where you build through the draft. It just is. And Utah had terrible luck. You can say rigged. You can say not. Whatever it was, Utah ended up with the 5th pick, which would not have happened if they did not get the worst record in the league. You can be frustrated, and that's totally understandable. I was frustrated. It literally just took the soul out of my body. But we could be Brooklyn. We could be Toronto. You could be looking at the 8 or 9 pick again, like the Jazz had the last 2 seasons. The Jazz have had the 9th and 10th pick the last few years. They didn't get the number 1, but you know what's better than 9 and 10? 5. 5 is better than 9 and 10, and that's what the Jazz have. They have, at worst, Ace Bailey, Trey Johnson, or VJ Edgecombe. And there's very much a possibility that they could trade up to number 3. So, guys, thank you for the support. I really appreciate the kind messages on the board. I am back. I'm still writing. I'm still trying to keep up with everything. It is a tough slog, and it's going to be a tank year next year as well. But we will be here, and we will get there. We will succeed. Oh, one other side note. I got a new solid-state hard drive addition to my computer, so that should hopefully help with the sound. There shouldn't be any dropout. It should be playing much smoother on these, on the lives, on everything. So that reminds me, I bought some screws. I got to screw in the rest of that hard drive. It's running loose, so I got to get it in. This Millennium Falcon needs to run. Guys, like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much to those who support and who are members of the channel and the All-Stars especially. Talk to you next time. Like and subscribe.